And right now, Abdullah the Butcher is blatantly advertising his 85th birthday celebration. I do have garnishes against him. If there's any lawyers out there watching and wants to help me collect from these guys that are very blatantly putting up scan codes. Um, so he's not even trying to run from his money. He sold properties. He closed bank accounts. He shut down his restaurants. He stopped wrestling. He's done everything he can other than under the table jobs to not pay. But now I guess he figures he's close enough to death. He's just going to get real blatant about it. So let's talk about some of the Jim Cornette fans have been on me. Apparently, I disfigured and mutilated somebody. Because, of course, Jim Cornette was there the night of my spike accident, right? So he knows all about it. He also once did a whole very popular thing alleging that I'm some type of person that goes around assaulting women. I was actually assaulted by a woman, a stripper who was under the influence of numerous things and did not want to leave my house and had a hot curling iron that she caused serious damage to me beating with me with. But I mean, this was not on that day. This was a day, and this is unlisted now, but that you could tell this was the type of person she was. I was going through a divorce. Um, Someone that takes a lot of stuff and is not all there. And she can that's her at my old place. She seems very peaceful there. But you get enough into you, which she had, I guess, at work that night, because this had happened when she got home from work. And I did not want, she was not supposed to come to my house. And when I tried to get her out, I was brutally attacked. So that's enough of that person. But anyone that wants to check it out, I have no criminal record. That incident I was fully cleared of. Not one piece of evidence was shown against me. It was scheduled to be a 3-day trial, but my trial was 5 minutes. She had a 2-day trial. She was found guilty of assault with a weapon, and damaging my property because she was throwing stuff around in my place, destroying stuff, saying she's going to burn out my eyes, burning me all over my body. I mean, at some point, when you're dealing with violent people, you have no choice but to use self-defense. And for guys, for guys, it's guilty until proven innocent. But let's go through the Jim Cornette comment now. I'll play the video that I actually keep in mind, guys. The cops came the night of that this happened, and they said I was free to go. They understood that this was a planned incident. That first of all, let me show you guys something, okay? The company that put on this event, World Class Pro Wrestling, no longer does events, and they did not have insurance on this particular night, and they provided me the props. So let's just look at this scene from my Blood Hunter Thirst and Rage movie that involves a spike. This spike here was styrofoam, but it looks real, right? This spike, it's actually made of styrofoam. It's not an actual real sharp railroad spike, which they gave to me for the first time in the match that night. If you had done this in WWE or a more professional company, you would not give a guy such a sharp object to do this thing with in the ring. Someone brought the spike down to me and gave it to me in the ring. Okay, so I didn't know how sharp this thing was, and the person didn't let me know either. So now I'm going to play the video. We're just going to review the whole incident because I did talk about it just after it happened because I was getting a lot of heat over it. and obviously I still get some heat over it. So let's clear this up. First of all, when this guy was hired, he flat out says he's used to bleeding the hard way, and he shows me a picture of bleeding the hard way. He didn't actually referee by the match, by the way. He was recommended by Sir Mo, R.I.P., who just passed away, as a guy that likes to bleed. He had not been in the ring for 2 years. He could not referee the match. He wasn't in good enough shape to referee the match. So there was a different referee for the match. He came in at the end. There was supposed to be a lot more people coming in at the end. So let's just go over some other stuff that this is the referee right there. And by the way, he was in the hospital a couple hours and released. And to my knowledge, he had medical insurance. And by the way, here's the guy that runs the company. When I tell him about the referee, the guy that runs the company that threw me under the bus says, don't pay him very much. And then he's showing the canvas. That was from my own blood the time before. They purposely put that canvas on for my match. And they were expecting a lot of blood in my match for that referee incident. He was supposed to bleed a lot. They were going to change that canvas after. My match was right before intermission, and that's what they ended up doing. So there was always supposed to be a lot of blood. There's one of the stories. Sorry. Hold on here. Here's one of the stories at the time where the referee says before the match for bleeding, because he's a bleeding expert, guys, remember? He took aspirin, a shot of whiskey, and you sweat, and it makes the bleeding look worse. Yeah, that's true. If you take aspirin and alcohol to thin your blood, you can bleed more. Anyone can search that up. So let's review the situation here, okay? Here we go. So again, I'm talking about here. The spike wasn't as covering in my hand as I thought it was. There was a bit of the end coming out, but nobody let me know this, and we're going to review the actual thing there. Oh, and here he is blading, by the way. Take a good look at his hand. He just bladed. Let's watch this again. He also bladed himself. Take a look at his hand there again. He's blading. He is blading himself right there. Then watch that hand. He puts the blade in his pocket. So again, we're working. This is fan cam. He's not telling me to stop. There's referees standing on the outside. They were supposed to be running in during all this time, by the way. They're just standing there. He's not telling me to stop. The referee is not telling me to stop, and everyone's just standing there doing nothing. Finally, my manager at the time comes in. She was always supposed to do that, but everyone else was also supposed to be in the ring. There was supposed to be like 5 or 6 guys pulling me off the whole time, and then they weren't doing that. So again, this is what's supposed to happen at the end. This was planned. I'm supposed to go out and attack the announcer. So no one is still telling me the extent of this guy's injuries. I'm thinking he's just selling because everyone else is still playing along. No one seems too panicked here about the referee. I honestly believe everyone thinks he's selling because if the announcer, and here's some more guys that come out, do they go help the ref, or do they do the thing here where this is all a work, guys? This is what those guys were actually supposed to come out earlier. So this is the thing. Everyone acts like I was going crazy. Everything happened as planned, other than the thing cut deeper, which again, it wasn't supposed to. So there's Jerry, but this is me quitting, which, by the way, that's my former. I formally quit the company. And here's from that night with the ref. Okay, guys, he was in and out of the hospital that night. Okay, he's excited that he thinks we did a good angle. He says shit happens. I think he did a great job selling. Everything's cool. Everything was cool up until this point. This is after he's been out of the hospital. I'm at my hotel here. And then I'm like, okay, how much is it going to be? Because again, they had no medics. He says $200 because I guess he had medical coverage. Yeah, yet somehow he ended up getting over 10,000 on GoFundMe, and I gave him more than $200 in the end as well. He never at any point showed any medical documents. And again, I was told that he had some type of medical insurance that covered it. Hence why he says $200. But everyone, let's. By the way, guys, the a couple shows before this, I was hit by Sabu in the front and back of the head, legitimately hard way busted open. The guy that owned the building, it was in the same building, went out and bought me super glued me up. Not one person felt bad for me. I get this is an accident. I feel bad for it, but I've bled tons of times. Abdullah the Butcher hit me with a coffee pot. Accidents happen in the business, and I'll say it again. The cops came and they said, this is an accident. Nothing legal happened out of it. Any reports saying it did was fine. He got stitches and he was fine. I'm not asking for justice. I'm just saying, I mean, this was over 4 years ago. I mean, it's over. And yes, I've been blacklisted. I am blacklisted. I can't even get a JCW match for crying out loud. I'm literally blacklisted. And hey, that's fine. I'm gonna work on other projects, but honestly, I'm a good talent and a good heel. I feel bad for that guy, but what good? You know, I honestly want to know the best thing that could happen out of that because, according to the guy that owned that company, he later told me the referee tried to work there again and he told them no. Because after he said everything was cool that night, then when he was getting media attention the next day, he turned up the heat on both me and the promoter. Then the promoter threw me under the bus because the promoter didn't like the heat either. But that company ends up not running anymore. The referee didn't ref again. And I'm doing fine from my YouTube and Facebook. I got like 16 million views on Facebook in the past month alone, but it would have been better to, hey, let's resolve this. We know it was an accident. Let's do an angle out of this so we can all continue on with this and not like ruin the momentum that I had because I was very, very popular in 2021 as Blood Hunter. The Blood Hunter character was killed out of that. The referee, he didn't even ref that night, but he wanted to get back into it. He never refed again because he was deemed a problem. The company ended up going out of business. So again, I think AEW already has enough people for the guy saying Bob Holly. I don't see that happen. I don't see that happening. No, the Blood Hunter would have been a great character, and I've heard Kevin Sullivan say this. The Blood Hunter would have been a good character in the 80s. But today is just not the time for a character like the Blood Hunter. Can you send me $500? I don't. If you're for real, sure. Find me on Facebook, Devin Hannibal Nicholson, or email greatnorthwrestling@gmail.com, and I'll tell you how. Or you could just give a tip on here. You know, I'm not saying I'm perfect by any stretch. The other thing that happened on that, my manager, that manager and I caused my marriage to end. So I really regret ever meeting that manager who was just someone I knew from the gym. Not hating on her, we broke up amicably, but she never wanted to even manage again because all the fans were going after her about it. And she used to be a big wrestling fan. She totally got out of the wrestling business. And considering that she had zero training and I was pretty much teaching her on the job, um, it's too bad all around along. Cody, I agree with you, but again, I don't see myself getting the opportunities. Someone mentioned a good friend of mine, Brian, said AEW should use you in some capacity where you're an announcer that wrestles, and maybe they don't treat you that great as an announcer. And the Blood Hunter has to get revenge on those people because it's kind of like another side. There's a lot of stuff they could do because I'm multi-talented. I I am able to draw. I know how to get heat. A lot of the hate against me is from people that see me as competition, such as Jim Cornette. Sees me as competition, wants to try and cut me down. Whatever. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you all have a great weekend. And my friend from Thunder Bay, hopefully we'll be back in Thunder Bay one day.